Have you ever wanted to carry your entire gaming PC in your pocket? Not a stripped-down mobile version, not a cloud streaming gimmick, but the real deal, Windows 11, a blazing fast AMD Ryzen 7 8840U, 16 gigs of RAM, and a full terabyte of NVMe storage, all inside a device that weighs less than a can of soda? Meet the GPD WIN Mini, a 7-inch handheld that dares to ask, what if your gaming laptop could fit in your jacket? For years, handheld gaming PCs have been stuck between two extremes. Either overpriced, underpowered gaming tablets that can't run modern titles, or bulky, heavy PCs that feel like carrying a brick. Meanwhile, the Steam Deck and ROG Ally dominate the conversation, but they run Linux or Android, great for emulation, but limiting if you need native Windows apps, productivity tools, or AAA games that aren't on Proton. Enter GPD, a brand that's quietly built a reputation for cramming desktop-grade power into handheld form factors. The WIN Mini isn't just another attempt. It's a full Windows 11 gaming PC that you can slip into your coat pocket. Right out of the box, the WIN Mini feels like a precision instrument. The magnesium alloy clamshell design is sleek, minimalist, and surprisingly sturdy for something that weighs just 520 grams. At 168 by 109 by 26 millimeters, it's not much larger than a smartphone, yet it unfolds into a full QWERTY keyboard with a responsive scissor switch layout, something you rarely see in handhelds. The 7-inch 1280 by 720 IPS touchscreen is bright, color-accurate, and surprisingly sharp for its size, with a 16:9 aspect ratio that works well for both gaming and media. The hinge is smooth, the build quality is premium, and the overall aesthetic is mature. This isn't a toy, it's a serious piece of tech. Now let's talk about what's under the hood. The AMD Ryzen 7 8840U is a mobile powerhouse, packing 8 Zen 4 cores and RDNA 3 graphics. Paired with 16 gigabytes of LPDDR5 RAM and a 1 terabyte PCIe Gen 4 NVMe SSD, this is no slouch. It boots into Windows 11 Pro in under 15 seconds, and it handles everything from indie titles to AAA games at medium settings. Think Elden Ring, Cyberpunk 2077, or Starfield at playable frame rates. The integrated GPU is surprisingly capable, especially when you consider the thermal constraints of a handheld. GPD's vapor chamber cooling keeps thermals in check, so you won't hear the fan screaming during intense sessions. But power isn't everything. The WIN Mini shines in its thoughtful input design. The dual Hall effect joysticks are a game changer. They eliminate drift, respond instantly, and feel like you're holding a proper controller. The D-pad is tactile and responsive, perfect for retro games or fighting titles. The triggers and bumpers are well placed, and the keyboard, while small, is usable for light typing or even coding on the go. The 3-axis gyroscope and 3-axis accelerometer add another layer of immersion, letting you tilt and rotate the device for games that support motion controls. Think racing or flight sims. And those German-engineered AAC stereo speakers? They're loud, clear, and surprisingly rich for a handheld, though you'll still want headphones for immersive audio. Let's put this to the test. I loaded up Cyberpunk 2077 on the highest settings it would run, mostly medium with some settings dialed down. At 720p, the game averaged around 40 to 50 FPS, with occasional dips during heavy scenes. Not 60 FPS, but definitely playable, especially with the FSR upscaler enabled. I also tried Elden Ring at medium settings with FSR, and it ran at a steady 35 to 40 FPS. Challenging, but doable with some patience. For older titles or emulation, the WIN Mini is a beast. I ran PS2 games through DuckStation at full speed, played GameCube titles on Dolphin, and even fired up some Switch emulation with Yuzu, all running flawlessly thanks to the Ryzen 7 single-core performance. Of course, there are trade-offs. The 7-inch screen, while sharp, is small for extended desktop use. Typing on the keyboard is doable, but not ideal for long documents. Battery life is decent at around 3 to 4 hours for light gaming, but drops to 1.5 to 2 hours during intense sessions. The device runs comfortably warm, but not scalding, so you won't want to hold it for hours on end without a break. And while the Hall effect sticks are a huge improvement, they're not perfect. Some users might prefer the analog feel of traditional potentiometers. Also, Windows 11 on a handheld means dealing with driver quirks, especially with touch and gyro inputs. Expect some tweaking to get everything working smoothly. How does the WIN Mini stack up against the competition? The Steam Deck OLED is a fantastic device, but it's locked into SteamOS and lacks native Windows support. The Asus ROG Ally is powerful, but it's heavier, louder, and runs Windows with all its bloatware. The Lenovo Legion Go is innovative with its detachable controllers, but it's bulkier and more expensive. The WIN Mini carves out its own niche. It's the only handheld that gives you a full Windows 11 experience in a truly pocketable form factor, with Hall effect sticks and a premium build. It's not the absolute best at any single thing, but it's the best all-around package for gamers who need portability without compromise. So who is this for? If you're a gamer who travels often, a student who needs a portable workstation, or a creator who wants to edit videos on the go, the WIN Mini is a revelation. It's not a replacement for a full gaming PC, but it's close enough for most people's needs. If you're purely a console gamer or only play indie titles, you might be better off with a Steam Deck. But if you need Windows, native AAA support, and the ability to run any x86 app, from Photoshop to Visual Studio, the WIN Mini is the most compelling option on the market. The GPD WIN Mini isn't perfect, but it's the closest thing we've seen to a true pocket-sized gaming PC. It's powerful, portable, and polished, three qualities that are rare to find together in a handheld. If you've been waiting for a device that can do it all without weighing you down, your search might just be over. Ready to take the leap? Click the link in the description and experience gaming on your terms, wherever you are.